All right. Time to get doing in Blender and all that other fun stuff. That over there, and one over here. There we go. All the places I'm streaming to. All right, now for the traditional start. Delete everything by default cube. Gonna have to remember how to actually do this stuff because it's been a few weeks since I touched this thing. It looks like I want to change dimensions of this. Let's see, gotta go to scene properties, units, metric, imperial. Okay, now let's see what my measurements said. My measurements are, ooh, I'm gonna need a cube. X is, that's the problem with imperial is when I have to go into inches. That's gonna be 11.33 feet. This is gonna be 20 feet, and this is gonna be 2.3. Okie dokes. Looks like I'm gonna need to go and do some more measuring. Time to go get the tape measure out. I'll be right back. Okay, let's see. That one should be about around that size. Pop it over here. I need to find a way to cut that corner. Sometimes loop tools just don't do it. Let me go here, bevel it. No, that wasn't quite it. It doesn't need to be perfectly accurate. Sheesh. What was. And I am not remembering my hotkeys for anything. Okay. Looks like I gotta go back and do some more measuring. But we got most of it down. Door over there, and then I gotta do a measurement on the wall. I guess I'll be right back. All right, that's 15.3 feet. Hmm. All right, time to go into the backyard and take a look again. Okay, that looks like it extends about around 3 inches above. So I'm going to set this to a Z of zero point 0.3. There we go. Avoid a little bit of Z fighting. Okay, time to go do some measurements on the door and a couple other things, and then I guess I'll have to start texturing. Give me a second while I enjoy a little drink, a little smoke, and then we'll get into doing some last of the shapes and start texturing. Then I can start building up. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to figure out which of the three kind of situations we want. So I'm trying to build a preview for my folks so that way they can see what the backyard might look like if we were to put in like concrete, uh, gravel, or a wooden deck, and then we can preview it and see what it would look like, so we can make a choice on what kind of thing we want back there. 6.7 feet. 6.8 feet. 4 inches. Oops. Left the mic on, I guess. Okay, looks like I got to do some more measuring to find out where the rest of the windows are, and then I can start building up and start looking for textures. My least favorite part of modeling. I legitimately dislike texturing. And it's not because it's hard, it's because I'm bad. Anyway, I'll be right back. Kisses. All right, so we got about around one of these is 5 feet. Okay. I guess I better go grab some basic ass textures. Everything is measured, everything is placed. Now we just need to do the texturing and start building some stuff up. Although this is bugging me because what this actually is more like this. Ah, jeez. No way. Oh, for a second there, I thought that we were stuck on the wrong like window, and sometimes because I run an Arch Linux system and it is a superior computer to any of the crap that you guys use with your Windows 11 carrying asses. Uh, sometimes my computer does funky things, and it's still better than Windows 11. Suck it. Oh, it's tough having a superior computer with superior problems. Maybe at some point I'll just go ahead and stream my whole process of installing Arch Linux onto a PS4. I want to turn it into a Matrix server. It's gonna be dope. And also very unoptimized. It's like PS4s weren't made for computing or something on their 8 gigabytes of RAM. I do not think I like this dual stream thing. It's kind of mid. But I'll go ahead and make it a little smaller so that way people on that side can see things. As if anybody's actually here anyway. Yeah, it's right. Shit, I did all this in an hour? Hell yeah. Ugh. 1 hour of work, take a quick break, chill out for a second, think about what kind of textures I want, if at all. Start hammering. We'll have this done before the end of the night. Considering texturing usually kicks my ass, it'll probably take about 45 minutes once I get a hold of a couple of good textures. Oh, how's it going, curly artist? Good seeing you. Right now, I'm trying to make this patio because my folks just got done with moving a bunch of dirt in the backyard and got rid of a pond. There used to be a pond in this spot right here, and we filled the hole in, and now we're trying to figure out what to put on there. And so I figure, okay, well, I'll just go ahead and throw up Blender real quick, and then model this area out real fast after taking a couple of measurements. And I want to see if I can put on like a deck, see how gravel might look, stuff like that. We're doing a little bit of construction. Yeah. Let's see. Control J to join all of these. And then we're going to go down to materials, add a new material. Give me my new material. Let's shift that over just a touch. Still not enough. Hmm. Oh, it did grab everything. I have to learn to trust my own like hotkeys. It's been so long since I've like messed around in Blender that my brain sometimes just skips and forgets Blender shortcuts all the time. 1.58 feet. Grab that, and scale on the x-axis and widen that baby out. Then we grab the top bit and we hit G, Z, bring that baby up. Grab all of these. Wait, what's that? Oh, no, I did grab the right stuff. I have a notebook for Blender because I use it so periodically that I also forget those things. Gotta consult the notebook. Gonna learn new tricks through osmosis from watching you. Oh, yeah, I'll try and announce some more of my maniacy as I go. A lot of folks seem to be getting into some blendering, and that's awesome. I'm really excited to see what kind of stuff people put out when they're what the hang on a second. Oh, I did have something grabbed that I didn't want grabbed. You need to go somewhere. Change all of these materials. Fine. Control J. Join all of them. If you're gonna fight me with it, we're gonna fight back. Hell yeah. And this one is also white. Aww. This one is also brick red, so we'll blue that one. This one is also brick red. I'm mostly just setting things down so I understand kind of where things go, kind of textures I want to set up. This one we're gonna set down as for the red clay because the problem with this is like there's like a ton of red clay down there and it's insanely tough to like break through with like a shovel. We had to have a guy come in with an excavator to come clear out all the stuff. It was crazy. Also, I've been good just crunching on work, making assets since January for animations that get animated on Adobe After Effects by a studio I'm working with. Dude, that's dope. Love to hear it. I had a blast working on your piece for the Morgana one, the one with the octopus character. Yeah, that's what I said. And then I'm just like, I should probably go and dig some of that out and just throw it into a bucket and let it sluice off and pull out that fresh clay and start working with it, getting handsy with it. And then these fellas, Control J to join them, and we are going to turn them into red brick. This should be a different color as well. This is more of concrete gray, right around there. And so are all of these little bits. Ooh. You been messing around with any fun games or anything? You've just been super busy with all the drawing. Sheesh. I need to remember how to remove the floor. There we go. Get rid of the gritty. Okay, okay. I guess at this point, I just need to bite the bullet and start doing the texturing. Shoot. Okay. Let's go look for textures. Fileable. Brick texture. I do not like that it is from Adobe. Save image. But that's a WebP, you horrible, horrible little monsters. Save it as a JPEG. PNG. I want to save it as a PNG instead. This goes into my Blender work, and I should probably save at this point because I haven't saved at all. Oh golly, it's still named Untitled. Shoot. Backyard deck. No, backyard project. And we're gonna put these in text, txt. Playing on, I've been playing some Pokemon Nuzlocke on Emerald on my Steam Deck. Yo, hell yeah. I've been making use of the speed up function for the grindy parts. Other than that, I've been waiting to finish my backlog of Resident Evil games before trying out the new one. Everybody is so into the new Resident Evil. All I've seen for the last like couple of weeks has been nothing but Resident Evil 9 memes everywhere. Must be a good one. I need to remember how to texture. I've been trying to avoid it. Got to cover my eyes. Yeah, no, definitely tough to avoid any of it with all of it going around. Fortunately, I don't think I retained any of it. So if I ever decided I want to give it a go, I wouldn't have to. Ugh, I wouldn't have to worry too much about that. Ah, yes. What I need to do is a vertical split, and then I need to turn this. Let's see, do I want to do shader or texture? What's a texture node editor? That looks like not what I want. Shader editor, that looks like what I want. Shaders. Base color should be image. Then I gotta go over to this, into backyard folder, texture, seamless, ba. Textures on, going the wrong way. Yeah. Now, how do I Heat. Cube box. Okay. I need to figure out how to scale this. Oh, that's affecting the color. Render, change, texture, scale. Got the texture node, a mapping node. Excuse me? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You can't tell me that this is the way to do it when I already tried doing it the other way. Uh, Connect the UV output from the texture coordinate. Uh-huh. UV output, vector, and then oh, that's what that little thingy is on the bottom there. Oh, okay, okay. Now let's see if we can scale this baby. Yeah. Hmm. Because it's on box mode, what happens if I do flat? Oh. Hmm. Oof. Okay, okay. Well, I mean, this one doesn't look that great, but let's see. How do I want to fix this baby? What is the sizing of this? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, so it's going to be based on its side. So if I were to, I don't know, rotate this by y 90 degrees up on its side, adjust the dimensions. I got to write this down somewhere. 2.3, 18, and 11.3. And this one is going to be 11.3. And this one is going to be 2.3. Nope, that one's supposed to be 18. And this one is 2.3. Bada bing, bada boom. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now I gotta figure out, that's just a placeholder for screw it. It's there for placeholder, so that way I know where it is. Okay, next up is tileable gravel texture. Save image as PNG. Hmm. New texture. Image. Mapping vector. Perfect. That goes there. This goes here. Image. Granite. Yay. Excellent. Okay, so that's what it would look like with grapple. And if we were to put on some planter boxes, I will be right back. I gotta go ask my dad what kind of size planter boxes he was thinking about using. Okie dokes. Looks like it's going to be 2 feet by 2 feet by 8 feet. Textures are, yeah, I just went on to Google search and just grabbed a couple of them. Grabbed a couple of nice textures. Join right. There we go. That way I can see better. 2 by 8 by 2. I'll sit inside here, bat around a little bit deep like that. Now I have to make some executive decisions on where I want these to be because that will look so that way it looks nicer. Rotate on the Z axis by 90. Rotate on the Z axis by 90 again. I don't like that it has 180 on there, so I'm going to turn it back around to 0. Let's see, what can I do with these? If I were smarter, I would have done this instead. Let's do one of these and focus on it. Uh, Grab that and run an inset. Yeah, there we go. Grab these two, scale on the x-axis outwards with S, make it even. And then we hit 3 to go to face mode and extrude. It is always just E, isn't it? There we go, planter boxes. Now to do it again. What kind of Pokemon did you catch in your Nuzlocke run? Also, have you heard of that Pokemon gambling game? I don't even remember the name of it. Shoot. Pokemon gambling game. Yeah, it's called Pokemon All In. It's a ROM. Okay. Next, wood. Wood planks, tileable texture. There we are. Those look acceptable enough. All of these are covered in horrible little. I'll just bring it over real quick. Yeah, Pokemon All In. Nothing crazy right now. I'm armed up with a Marshtomp, Lombre, and a Dustox and something else. Man, that's not a bad team actually. Marshtomp is pretty tough. Ooh, wooden planks, new texture from DeviantArt. Yoink. and save them as PNGs. Yeah, I saw someone who was I saw a streamer recently that was playing Pokemon All In, but they did it in Nuzlocke form, and it was very, very funny. I quite enjoyed that. Seemed like a really cool ROM. I definitely want to slap that onto my Steam Deck. I gotta get in touch with you at some point about how to get some of those emulators running. I could put in some chairs or something, but I don't think I don't want to do that yet. I should. Oh shoot! I need to save this. I've been dancing on the razor's edge. Backyard dot blend. Yeah, it seems like it's pretty easy. Straightforward stuff. Control J to join all of these. And we're going to name these plant planter boxes. This is for organization, so later on I'm not completely confused. Control J these. And we're going to call this concrete. This fella is going to be called stamp bricks, even though it's not. Uh, wall one. Wall two. Door. Scaffolding. Windows. What this? Ah, stairs. Oh, that's supposed to have a brick texture too. Control J all of these. Stairs. Who's this? Wall 3. And default cube is under there. We're going to call that red clay. There. Nothing is named cube now. And so since these three are going together, well, these two items are going together, I'm going to put them into a category, new collection, and... Huh? Why put it down there? Whatever. We're going to name this gravel base house. House base. House. Nice and clean. Next. So that's the gravel. He also wanted to consider white concrete. So we're going to duplicate this, lift it up just a touch to where it matches. No Z fighting, no Z fighting. Good. And just for the sake of clarity, concrete. No, that's gravel. This is concrete. I should rename these materials concrete. brick. Uh, Scaffolding. Window. Red clay on that. And last one, gravel. All right. So this is going to be concrete and new collection concrete set. Concrete 2. Concrete path. And just needing this concrete. Good. Planter boxes. Duplicate those. Pop into that one. This is with the concrete, and they can do other things with that. And the last one is a deck, a wooden deck. That was the one that I had the idea of, and I said, well, I think it would look nice if we had a nice wooden deck on there. So duplicate this, lift it up, because I wanted this thing to go up higher. Then we're going to add a new texture. Call this wood. Gotta go and get my splits, my vertical splits on. Change this to shader editor and start doing the do. Mapping. Vector goes out to texture coordinates. And then vector actually doesn't go there. It goes to an image texture. And that image texture wooden planks. Hey. You know, maybe texturing isn't as bad as I thought. I think the only thing I don't like is having to do all the UV editing. For some reason in Blender, it is kind of, maybe it's just a pain in the ass in almost every single program that exists, but golly, it seems to just take up so much time. And then I guess I should probably do some actual modeling on this. So we're going to join right. Select it, hit tab, go into edit mode, and control R. All right, there. Nope, I don't want it there. Control R, scroll up for 2. Scale on the y-axis to bring them back together, right around there. Shuffle this over, maybe somewhere around here. That would look kind of nice. See if I can figure out how to make stairs properly on this thing. Without making Z fighting. Or maybe I just don't worry about it. Oh, no, gonna have to worry about it. Sheesh. Oh, I think I know how to do this. Sometimes you just gotta give it the old fashioned way. Delete some of these face. Ooh, not that. Uh, as my brain begins to yell at me and say, you are a manner of fool. Oh yeah. Extrude on the x-axis. Let's make sure it's lining up. I can't see. I can't see. Alt Z so that way I can see. Of course, it is still fighting me. Why would you do this? Grab this face because it's still a little off. Bring it down more. Perfect. Gosh. F to connect those. Grab these two. F. Make sure we keep our edge loops in place. F. Grab these two edges. F. Control. Grab these. Oops. F. Down more. Select this edge, this edge. Hit F to get those to connect, and we just close the holes up. Et voila. Magnifique. Next, railing. Oh, that's gonna suck. Oh, that's gonna suck. Oh, I hear it. I can feel it. I know it's not going to be. Shift A. Cube. Come here, default cube. You nasty little boy. Point 3, point 20 feet and a height of about around three feet high. Hey, where'd it go? G, Z. Grab, Z. Hop that baby around here. Goes over the whole thing. Too long. Hit him with the Z. That's the wrong way. Needs to be in a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Right around. It could probably stand to be thinner. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, no, I was cruising all the way over here to Alabama, and the entire way I took this really cool. I guess I'll take a second while I think about what I want to, how I want to tackle this thing. But and take my smoke break. But I was thinking, so when I came all the way over here, I managed to get this really cool thing for my car that like lets me put a tent on the back. And so I can open up the back trunk of my hatchback and I can set up a tent that extends off of it. So it's all like in one area with my car. And then I can keep the back of my trunk open and I can just lay a sleeping bag down and hang out for a bit. I went over to Death Valley for a couple of days and that was awesome. Then I went up, yeah, it's for camping. I took all that stuff up and then I went up to Colorado. I went up to 9,500 feet without realizing it, and I was definitely getting hit with some altitude sickness up there. Fortunately, I'm like a little bit more prepared for it, so I definitely could tank it. But whew, the air is rare, as we used to say in the academy. If you had to go camping, or I guess if you wanted to go camping, where would you want to go camping? Yeah, 9,500 feet in altitude. That was up on a mountain. And if I got a chance to stay longer, because the problem was that I was still trying to get to Alabama before like my birthday or something so I can make sure I could get here and celebrate with my family. But uh, if I had more time, I definitely would have taken a hike to try and get up to the top of that particular mountain. It was like Camp Zapata. Yeah, no, there's a lot of beautiful spots in California, especially if you go up north. There was that, what's the name of that forest that's up there that everybody goes to? Oh, shoot, I'll look it up. California forest camping. It's not Big Bear, but Big Bear is pretty dope. I don't think it's Sierra. Bernardino, Tahoe, El Dorado. Gosh, I do not remember the name of this place, but there was a forest that I really wanted to go and check out in California and just camp out there for a little bit. It would be pretty rad. I am actually amazed that my tiny little Nissan Kicks could tank those rough roads getting up on that mountain. Very impressed with that car. I had to look this up, but I've stayed and hiked around paths at Big Bear before. The elevation there apparently is just 6,700. That's still pretty high up there. Yeah, the Nissan's still kicking. Yeah, no, because I remember one of my friends, Vitascapi. So my friend is going over and they're doing this LARP thing, right? And they go over to Colorado, and they were not told that they were going to be going up to one of the highest areas in like Colorado on top of a mountain in a house to do their LARP. And they didn't have really a lot of good preparation, I think, to let people know that you're gonna have some problems for a couple of days. And it's a 3-day event that they pay a lot of money to go to and have fun at, and they want to RP the entire time while they're doing it. But the problem was when they got up to that elevation, they basically were just like they can only RP for 3 hours and then they have to take like a break, everybody, because everyone was like gasping, wheezing, and sick as the lack of oxygen starts to kick in. They just felt all the fatigue. I think the worst I got was like a little bit of an upset tummy from being up that high. But in order to fight it off, I think what I had to do was I just sat down and I picked up a big log and I just ran around with it for a bit until my heart rate was kept on going up and just exercised my way through it. They gave free firewood at the base of the mountain. You just have to carry it all the way up, and it was too big for my car. So I just picked it up and walked a bunch with it, and then I got tired of it and I flung it into the woods. Gosh, I'd love to get back up on that mountain again. Yeah, that's kind of what we had. That's what they did at the academy when they were trying to get us acclimated. So the first day basically was just nonstop. The first couple of days were just nonstop working out, just beat down after beat down, and there was no break. But by the end of it, I definitely was much better acclimated to it. And there was a weird thing that would happen up at those elevations where I got like, I mean, you get like injuries and cuts and stuff like that when you're, in basic training and stuff. But when I got like, whenever I got cut up there, it did this really weird thing where my blood would like coagulate almost instantly. It would come, it would like, you'd have like a drop of blood like beating its way out, and then as it's like in the middle of beating it starts to like solidify and you're looking at like what's happening. That's not supposed to happen. You just leave it there for a couple more seconds and you just flick it off and the injury's closed, like it's all clotted up and it's all ready to go. I had never seen it or felt anything like that anywhere else. And Apparently that's a thing that happens at those elevations, and that's why people who have risk of blood clots can't go up there at like super high elevations without worrying about like their blood clotting in their veins. It's crazy shit. Yeah, it was wild to watch that. And so when I was back up there and I was just like, oh man, I hope I don't get a cut up here. That would be real ugly. I got these weird band-aids though, and I had no idea how they worked. They are called fast healing bandages. And apparently, what they do is you stick them on, and instead of letting your blood clot, it prevents your blood from clotting at all, and it just sits on top and acts like the scab, and it tricks your body into leaving that area moist enough to just get the stem cells to work on rebuilding the injury, and it does it without like scars, which is crazy because I took a hit on my like knuckle while I was out here. And so I tested the thing out, and I've gotten like a couple of other like cuts and small like bruises from like all the like labor work that I've been doing here. uh, chopping up the backyard, fixing my cars, fixing the trucks, fixing the Teslas, fixing all the putting on the new tires and everything like that, repairing my Nissan kicks and giving it the love it deserves after carrying my stupid ass all the way up those mountains. And so I got in all those cuts, and it's still like they're still healing right now. Like it's been like almost 2 weeks. I put that bandage onto like one of those injuries just to test it out and see. That thing closed up and healed within 2 days. It was just gone. And it looked messed up when I took the bandage off. I thought I had an infection. Like it was bad looking. I was like, why is there so much blood everywhere? Oh my god, I think I need to go see like a doctor or something. And no, I just like had to wash it off. It was just red goo with a completely closed up with a completely closed up wound on the underside. Like skin's healed up and everything. No more hole, no scab, nothing. No scar either. So 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. They have something called a hydrocolloid. There you go. Typed it out for you in the chat. It's called a hydrocolloid gel that they put on the inside of those things, and they make them. It makes those injuries close up like nothing I've ever seen before. Let's see. I want to make this not as long. I want it roughly in this shape though. So what I'm going to do is drop the height on this to 0.2 or maybe 0.4. Pop. Bring that up to about around there. I don't want it so high up. I want it to be a little nicer and lower. Yes. Ooh, hang on a second. That looks kind of nice. And doesn't have a bunch of little slats or whatever. Shift D Z, and I'm going to keep the dimensions 2 by 4. I'm going to rotate this on the x-axis by no. Where are you going? Hey, come back here. Rotate by the x-axis 90 degrees. Thank you. Pull that baby over here. Scale along the z-axis about around there with SZ. Drop her down to here. Put another post up over there. Duplicate with. Shoot. Actually, it happens so fast that sometimes I don't recognize the keys that I'm like hitting. I'm sure you experience that while you're doing Photoshop work. It just is one of those things where it just snaps in. Rotate by 90 degrees. Yeah, I want it more like that. Then we take this one, Shift D along the x-axis, G, X, got it right there. Well, that's a whole dang-a-thing. This is going to have to go all the way flush against the edge, I think. And then Shift D, rotate by 90, move it over here. One over there, and one over here. Grab these three along that axis. S, scale along the y-axis, and bring it over here. G, Y, bada bing, bada boom. Grab these three, move it along the y-axis so it's over here. Rotate by on the z-axis by 90 degrees, and give them the old shuffle. And I think I need to scale along the x-axis, shorten it down about around there-ish roughly. And that should connect up. Perfect, perfect. Dang. Ding dang. Muscle memory is more real than my actual memory when it comes to that. Yeah, that's more or less how it feels. Like it feels alien right now to like talk while I'm like to talk through my process and try and remember the hotkeys so that way I can like help folks who are learning this stuff figure out how to actually use the blender. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you heard about the about Blender being put onto the iPads, but there have been I'm so excited for them to be able to like get Blender onto tablets. Once they get Grease Pencil on there, it's game over for me. I will not be messing with anything else for a long while. I actually have been having a real huge blast with Nomad. It's that one that I showed you where I 3D modeled out Crinkle's head, is a bust of Crinkle. Yeah, they showed some phenomenal stuff for Blender coming in from the Grease Pencil side, and I'm just looking at that thing going, that would be amazing if I could just do 2D art inside Blender on a tablet. I will drop Procreate within seconds. It won't even take my brain a whole lot of time for me to just shift over. I'll just do it. Okay, this looks great. I'm pretty pleased with this. What I want now is to put those planter boxes back up. Because my folks are really into gardening and stuff now, so I want to make sure they have enough room to go and do all that. Planter boxes. Oh my god. They all named Cube. Shoot. I guess I better grab all of them and hit Control J. And then say guardrails. And then oh, what? Huh? Where is it? Oh, it's called Red Clay 1. That's why. Deck. Wooden deck. Pop that out over there. Let's create a new collection and we'll call this collection Wooden Deck. Grab these, put those in there. Et voila! I think I'm more or less done with this. So now we have some options. We have this one. They want to fill up with a gravel pit, and yeah, I was thinking of playing with Nomad on my iPad. Nomad's really great. Dude, I can't decide myself to procreate. I can't dedicate myself to procreate. I know all the younger artists use it for professional work, but I'm so used to using a Cintiq. I dig it for sketches, but the whole process of drawing, nah. All praise, yeah, the gravel pit. Definitely 100% get that. I have had the opposite effect where now I unfortunately cannot draw in anything that isn't Procreate. it's it probably didn't help that I had a lot of I there's sometimes some weird stuff that happens between Linux and tablets, and I didn't have a good tablet that was able to work with me. And so I kind of just stopped using stuff like Clip Studio Paint. Actually, the real reason I stopped using Clip Studio Paint, which was my primary tool, is because those guys will not make things for Linux. And I have to do so much garbage in order to get Clip Studio Paint to work on my Linux system that I would rather just like work on it on a Windows computer instead. But then I look over at Windows and go, ew. And so I just go and reach for the iPad instead because it's not Windows. I'm like, because I mean, what I like about Procreate is just the ability to freeform sketch. And as long as I just focus on that and just ignore the fact that my entire process for literally most of my life has been the pen tool, I I really want to have a program that lets me, if I could get something that lets me do vector art on an iPad, I would 100% take that. But I don't think I want to give Illustrator money. At least not without a company giving me money and saying, we'll pay for your Adobe license. And I'll look at them and say, you're going to give me a new computer too, because I'm not putting Adobe on my computers. Are you crazy? This is a tough choice. The gravel pit looks pretty good. Concrete, it's so plain. It just fills in, but it's a nice space you can use, and you could turn this whole area into like a sitting area or something. But I am definitely a big fan of the wooden deck. It just looks nice. All right, let me go take a quick smoke, and then I'll go show my old man this stuff and see if he wants to see what he likes. I will be right back. Oh, before I go back, I wish more art programs were cool with Linux too. I also can't stand Windows 11. Dude, I was looking at some people with their Windows 11 systems and I asked them to give me like just give me the task manager. Let me see what kind of stuff's running on your like in the background. They don't have anything running on their computer. It's just they basically just turn the dang thing on, open up task manager, and I just can look at it and go, "Oh, look, 50% of your RAM is going somewhere funny." And 20% of your CPU is being used up right now because it's trying to force a security update on you. The idea of that just happening like is just so absurd to me. It's like I spend all this money on this computer to build it up, and just because I put Windows 11 on my computer, I basically have only 50% of it. That's ridiculous. It's all ridiculous. And it seems like Windows 11 just continues to get worse. If you ever need to get a Windows 10 Enterprise Edition, I got you, buddy. I can get you a version of Windows 10 that will last until 2036 with security updates and everything. I'll shoot that link your way a little later so that way you can give it a shot if you want to play around with it. But man, It sucks. It sucks. It sucks how bad Windows 11 it just makes everything awful. And it just keeps getting worse. It's like, oh, well, we saw that you turned off Cortana, but what if we turned it back on for you? And then also made it have an AI in there that watches all of your things. Wouldn't you like that? And like, open up PowerShell, go into registry, find Cortana, die. I'll show you how they did it with the. I'll show you with a covenant. I'll send that AI back to the ring worlds. I can't believe they actually finally made a Halo movie, like a Halo series on Netflix. I was looking at that thing going, when did they finish it? 2025. I looked at my watch and went, when did Halo come out? And when did everyone just sit around and start like talking about how they were going to make movies? They used to make like fan videos and shit like that on like YouTube. And that was like, oh God, it was like 15 years ago. That was even older than that. It was like 20 years ago. Yeah, they did. Oh my God. That's 11 years back when they announced the Halo TV series. And that was like after all the fan projects came out and they were saying that the Halo TV series was going to be made by fans. And I'm sitting there looking at it on Netflix going, oh, look, they're doing the orbital drop thing and all of them are landing in hero pose. What am I? Like, where am I? Am I back in 2012 again? Holy shit. I thought Deadpool made the hero landing, the the landing on your knee and looking up slowly into the camera. I thought Deadpool made that cringe. All right, smoke break done. And with AI, get ready to see more hero landing poses for everything. Thank oh my god, thank God for the AI bringing back hero landings. Oh my gosh, you need to go and look at this horrible thing that I saw earlier. Uh, let me go get you a link. It's just I guess Eurovision went out and they posted up their new mascot, and I looked at him and said, "Damn, they gave him they gave that dude the DLSS 5 treatment." Anyway, I'll be right back real quick. Let me go talk to my old man real quick. And never mind, he went to sleep, so I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and let's see. Dang, I actually got all that texturing done real fast. I thought this was gonna take longer. Cool. Well, I've got the file, Control Save, and man, I don't know what to do now. I'm just like I'm in a daze. Hum hum hum. Oh, it's looking nice. Everything looks good. All set. And I think I'm gonna hang out for a bit because I just missed talking to you, buddy. But I think I'm done with art for today. Oh, I don't know where all this AI stuff is going, but it doesn't seem like it's doing very much. I can't imagine being a CEO right now of an AI company and just trying to like find new ways to convince people that your product doesn't suck. All I hear are like buzzword, 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 but multimodal and it's the fastest GPT-4. I mean five. And I mean it's multimodal and images and it's AI and just artificial intelligence, scaling. I'm just like you guys don't know what's going on anymore. You've lost the plot. Goofy goobers. I also just wish they had like I don't know. There's a lot of things going on right now in the art world that make me a little uneasy. But I'm glad that you're making it through and you've got good clients taking care of you. That's awesome. I've also been trying to do more animations in Procreate, and surprisingly, it's pretty competent at it. Still, the only thing that I really don't like and wish more for, not even not that I don't like it, it's just not in the capability of the program. I wish I could have those vectors and then I could actually put a rig. I think that's what I'd really like the Sylvia model that I have right now. The character is bouncing around. Uh, that one is I haven't done a full hand drawn like animation since I was like in college. I feel like every time I look outside the window and see all the fire going on in the art world, that even if I'm doing okay at the moment, doesn't make me feel safe either. Yeah, yeah, that's the way it feels. Feels like everything's currently on fire and nobody knows what's going on. Yeah, I frame by framed it. And the only reason that it stayed consistent is because I had to mentally break it down, kind of like how you did the Morgana piece, into little bits and pieces, and I just had to like manually transform tool all of it together. And so I'm honestly kind of impressed it came out as clean as it did, considering that you know, it's not as full hand drawn as I would have liked, as not even liked. I think the way that Procreate works makes me need to rethink how I do animation, and I would like to do something more action oriented. Yo, big brain move. That's a cool idea for frame by frame. It worked pretty good. It worked pretty well. I definitely want to try kicking in more into animation again. I just really kind of had a great time playing around with it. But definitely there was a lot of points throughout that where I felt like I was being handcuffed. Where if I were in like Macromedia Flash, oh, Flash, oh, that just that my heart's breaking again. I just thought about like how Adobe like kicked down on the Adobe Animate because that was like closest one to Macromedia Flash, and they just apparently were just like we can't think of new we can't think of new features to put into it, so we're just gonna delete all of Adobe Animate. We're just getting rid of it. I'm like, but why? It's a perfectly functional program. Just I don't know. Leave it alone, you dinguses. And if you do get rid of it, give it to me for free then. You clearly got those guys clearly don't appreciate Macromedia Flash. Dang, those were the days. Yeah, I can't believe they just wanted to burn it and erase it from anyone being able to use it. That it's so like it's so shitty. It's such a shitty move. It's a perfectly functional program. There were a lot of people that were using it. I think I heard that what is it? My memory is so shot right now. Um Smiling Friends. Smiling Friends runs on Adobe Animate. And when they said that they were gonna like shut it down, it was funny in how fast everyone ditched. And then and then I heard about right after that, the lawsuit kicked in, and Adobe was charged $75 million because they made canceling subscriptions so dang hard that it pissed off someone in the government. So they went after them hard. And they not only said, well, you have to pay 75 million, you also have to promise that you're going to give 75 million dollars worth of like features and products and like benefits for free to all of your users. Imagine screwing up so hard as a company that the government tells you to let them pirate your work. And Adobe has to sit there and say, "Wait, but pirates, but but the pirates. You mean I have to give it to the pirates now?" Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now you got to give it. Now everybody's a pirate because of you. And people immediately took that and said, "I don't want to rely on this company as for my business anymore, especially not as an animator." And they just left. And they ain't coming back. And I have a hard time thinking about wanting to even touch Adobe Animate, knowing that at any point in time, they just might, delete it. Why would I? Plenty of other good programs that do the same thing, probably better. Oh, Adobe. If only they weren't run as a company by a bunch of malware developers. Maybe they wouldn't have made such a shitty system with Creative Cloud. Mm. Silly Adobe. But that's why I'm so excited that Blender is coming in onto tablets because I'm really I really want to play with Grease Pencil. The idea of making comics and animating comics in like using the full power of 3D has my brain spinning on ways I can use it. I don't know how, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but that's what my idea is right now is that I want to make something that allows me to make a comic. Uh, and I want to make a comic in Blender. Let me see if I can find grease pencil file I was working on. X split shader no. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Maybe I need to change up the way that I name my files or something. Like, maybe I didn't do this in what I would call an optimal way. Who named these files? What imbecile? Pins, no, not that one, not that one. I don't know where I put my files. If I can get a copy of Photoshop CC 2022 without their subscription model, that would be my last tie to them. Yeah, it's unfortunate that even as much even as much crap as I give Adobe, Photoshop is still there's a reason why it's good or why everybody uses the thing. Huh. Maybe I have it in this one. Um, comic grease pencil. Dang. I am stun locked. I have no idea where I put that thing. Maybe I put it on my blue sky? Where did all my stuff go? See, I knew I did it. Yeah. Here it is. Here, I'll bring it over on the screen so other people can see it. Shoot. Yeah, this thing. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. I wish I had the file on me, but when did I post this? November 2025? Open. Render. Date modified. Over. Huh. Maybe that was one of those files that I just deleted. I just never saved. That would be very messed up, but that kind of fits my unfortunate modus operandi with a lot of this stuff. I just kind of fling stuff around. What's this? Oh, that file. Yeah, no. I don't think I put it in here. Ah, Sylvia, we're gonna have to get you a new outfit. This outfit makes you look like a Colombian gangster. And working on the new model, need to I was trying to put this through Nomad and get that all taken care of. Do some of that stuff over there. Man, I can't find that file. I guess I guess it's gone. Oh well. I guess I'll just remake it. Whatever. I don't even care. Yeah, I have no idea what to do with like a 3D comic. Just the idea of it is like stuck in my brain and I just don't know what to do with it. Like how would you like advance through the comic as a reader in a way that is still um accessible? Because it feels like I would need to do like essentially just it almost would just be like an animation of like a comic happening around you, which I don't know if I'd really like the idea of. I kind of like the idea of moving from point like not moving from point to point, but being inside of a situation where depending on what angle you look at the comic, it will change the context of the comic. Um, or give you more insight. I guess I don't know. It's a weird way to like think about it. It's just one of those things that I'm gonna have to actually like sit down and do. And the more I do it, I'm sure I'll figure something out. But um, I have to get better at grease pencil, and I'm just not good at it. Not yet. Grease pencil's so weird to work with because it sets itself on whatever plane this little guy over here is, the 3D cursor, which is a very strange thing unique to Blender that my brain does not like dealing with. If I have the opportunity to, I try and get rid of it as fast as possible and shove it off to the side and like that, or put in the origin point. But I know I need to get better about wielding that thing to really know how to use to really make Blender sing. I'm gonna get that hair bit way longer. I also have this problem with 3D modeling where every time I go back to a oh, excuse me, to an older model, there's nothing I don't know why I have to mess with the face. I for whatever reason it feels like every time I go in and look at an old model, the face is always not correct or not where I want it to be. Yeah, it seems like there's some learning curve to using grease pencil. It's really rough. It's weird. But I've seen some people do some rad stuff with it. Like essentially uh, sketching out buildings or things like that, and then using the model underneath to supplement that, giving it sort of a faux line art look. And I know that people are using grease pencil to do some animations with, and they're comboing it with 3D models, but definitely one of those things I really need to experiment with a whole lot more. Oh goodness, I'm starting to yawn a bunch. Okay, I guess I'll take my cue and go ahead and get ready for some rest. Thanks for hanging out, by the way, Curly. It's always good seeing you. I see you. I can smell you. I got my schnoz on you, buddy. All right. I'm going to go ahead and roll on out of here and go, I don't know, find something to eat and then do the sleep thing. Have a good one, buddy. The schnoz. And one loud sneeze.